communicating directly with an audience through email marketing and direct mail marketing. In this video lesson, we will examine two types of direct marketing to an audience, one traditional and one digital. We will examine direct mail marketing and email marketing. Direct mail marketing is the obvious precursor of email marketing, but the one common denominator is that they go directly to the end user. It is just a matter of the mode of delivery. Before there was technology, good old-fashioned mail was the way to go. In this video lesson, we will learn and we will look at both simple formulas to calculate direct mail marketing, direct mail response rate, and email open rate. So after you finish this video lesson, you will be able to analyze direct mail marketing and email marketing for inclusion in a media plan. Understand media terminology associated with direct mail and email marketing. Understand how to calculate a direct mail marketing response rate. Understand how to calculate an email marketing open rate. Apply the concept of key performance indicators in the form of response rate to evaluate the success of a direct marketing campaign, and apply the concept of the key performance indicator in the form of open rate to evaluate the success of email marketing. So let's start with the basic terminology that you need to understand. Direct marketing or direct mail is a channel agnostic form of advertising that communicates and allows businesses to communicate straight to the consumer with delivery methods that can go from traditional mail to the technology message delivery of mobile messaging or text-based, email, and other interactive formats. Direct marketing campaigns are customer-centric, data-driven, and focus on accountability in the form of some sort of response from the consumer. Response rate is the metric that provides key cost and performance benchmarks to help direct marketers gauge the efficiency of their campaigns. Response rate is a measurement of the amount of people who respond to a certain call to action. When marketers want to solicit a response from consumers, they will distribute an offer to these consumers, these audiences. The consumers who respond to the offer are calculated into this metric or KPI. The response rate is found by dividing the number of recipients who responded to the offer by the total amount to recipient times 100, because it's presented as a percentage, typically. Email marketing is a type of direct digital marketing that uses electronic mail as the marketing communication delivery method. Email marketing is used to build brand loyalty, acquiring or converting leads, to advertise and promote products or services, among other marketing applications. Opt-in, opt-out, and unsubscribe. This is the Can-Span Act of 2003, which is an acronym of Controlling the Assault of Non-Solicited Pornography and Marketing Act of 2003, officially coming into law on January 1st, 2004. The Can-Spam Act applies to almost all businesses in the U.S. that use email and provides recipients of what can be considered unwanted email or spam, with the right to opt out of these spam messages and have their opt-out or unsubscribe requests acted upon. Under the Can-Spam Act of 2003, and even though it may be considered unethical, permission of the email recipient is not required prior to sending out the emails. However, if a recipient wants to unsubscribe or opt out of the mailings, then the business must stop sending the email as per the opt-out request, or face penalties if the company is reported to the Federal Trade Commission, or FTC. Opt-in is when a recipient actually gave permission to receive communications from that particular marketer or advertiser, but nevertheless has to be given the option to opt out on request. The option of opting out is responsible marketing, and deceptive commercial emails are also subject to laws banning false or misleading advertising. Again, key performance indicators, or KPIs, are goals set by organizations that allow to achieve their marketing goals through definition and measurement of how success will be measured. KPIs are the desired results of an advertising or marketing campaign. Goals of a certain percentage open rate for email marketing campaign or desired response rate for direct marketing campaigns are examples of KPI. Open rate is the percentage of the total emails sent for a email marketing campaign, calculated by dividing total emails opening by the total emails sent multiplied times 100. Response rate is the percentage of response to the call to action to the direct mail promotional message. Response rates in direct mail tactical executions, they vary by industry and can be attributed to many factors, including the promotional message and the offer itself. But the typical range is between 2 and 4% response rate, which is the response to the call to action defined divided by the total pieces sent. The key is to define what the call to action or response desire is. For example, calling a number to get more information, ordering a product, etc. As consumers spend more time online, digital campaigns are increasing exponentially. Over half of the population uses email, and approximately close to 300 billion emails are sent and received every day. As I stated in the introduction of this video lesson, we will be discussing simple metrics associated with both methods of directly addressing end users, direct mail marketing and email marketing specifically. But before there was technology, direct marketing was king in the arena of direct communications with the end user and still going strong. In the age of digital marketing, you might think that direct mail is dead. After all, if most people are spending their time online, wouldn't it make sense to advertise using the direct mail? And does anybody actually pay attention to the advertising they receive in the mailbox these days? Well, according to the United States Postal Service, or USPS, total mail volume has declined by almost 30% since 2006. But think about it. Just because the number of pieces mailed are down doesn't mean that direct mail is in decline. While there are several reasons for the decline in mail volume, such as online bill payment and more sophisticated targeting methods, the fact that there are fewer pieces in mailboxes is actually a good thing for marketers. Think about it. Less clutter means there's more opportunity to stand out and less competition for attention. Both of these things give you a much better shot at achieving your marketing goals. As a matter of fact, direct mail is one of the most effective marketing channels for new customer acquisition and customer retention. So this leads me to the next topic. Direct marketing, like email marketing, operate on lists. The list of potential customers or leads or targets, whether a mailing list or email list of names, can be bought or is self-generated by the advertiser. Important components of the direct mail or email marketing industries are the companies selling list of the intended targets. You need list of people with addresses or email addresses to direct the advertising to. A friend of mine who's a professional in that business of consumer lists once told me that there are virtually lists for most types of people or consumers you can think of. If you ever got a driving ticket, wasn't your mailbox inundated with ticket lawyers offering you to fight for your ticket? Well, that is because someone working for that ticket fighting legal industry researched public records for lists of people who got driving traffic violation tickets as a way of generating leads. It was certainly no accident, no pun intended. The list can be bought or generated by the advertisers through their own efforts as well to market and remarket. There are many strategies to use direct marketing and remarketing, traditional and digital. I have personally used them as a client and for my clients throughout my career. So let's start. Refer to the video lesson PowerPoint. Keep in mind that return on investment is a very important component of this mathematical evaluation to gauge whether the campaign monetary investment yielded the intended results and produced revenue. But that is discussed in another lesson. So let's start with direct mail response rates. So the first thing is, let's understand the numbers. And let's start with this scenario. So we're going to go with response. So let's say that a direct mail marketer sent out 1,500 postcards to advertise a special promotion, and 525 people called the company inquiring for more information. It is very important that before this direct mail campaign launch, the KPI needs to be established, or KPIs. The advertiser has to be clear how they're going to evaluate success. And sometimes success can be measured against a previous successful or unsuccessful campaign. In this scenario, let's establish that there are several responses based on the call to actions. It could be call, visit, or buy. And all three can be considered response rates as KPIs. You have the call to action to call, after you see the piece in your mail. You have the call to action to visit the place. And you have the ultimate KPI, which is to respond to the offer by buying the product advertised. Keep in mind also that the company's sales force or the call center, remember those commercials, operators are standing by? They can also be measured in their closing rate when potential customers or leads call, and they can close the sale by selling the caller. But that's another KPI. So let's keep it simple. To calculate the response rate in this case, let's take the number of people calling to inquire about the offer. The formula for response rate is desired response divided by total direct mail pieces sent multiplied times 100. So in this case of response rates, 525 people called. And then that was divided by 1,500 people who, 1,500 total postcards sent equals 0.35 times 100. The response rate is 35%. So now let's report the results. Let's look at what this means. As a result of 1,500 postcards sent advertising the special promotion, 525 people called for more information. It can be reported that the campaign yielded a 35% response rate for this initial evaluation. Again, you can calculate other types of responses identified and established. The next tiers of evaluations can be and can include a few companion metrics. For example, how many of the inquiries were converted to sales, so lead to sales conversion rate? If the campaign investment produced sales or revenue, ROI or return on investment. And also the closing rate of the salespeople or the call center answering the calls. That can be another companion KPI. So now let's move on to email open rate. So now let's understand the numbers. Let's start with this scenario. An email marketer sent out, yeah, we're in the right slide. An email marketer sent out 2,500 emails to advertise a special promotion, and 276 people opened the email. So now let's calculate the open rate. The formula for open rate is emails opened divided by emails sent times 100. So in this case, 276 people opened the email. Out of the 2,500 emails sent times 100, because this is a percentage, so you got an open rate of 11%. So now let's understand the numbers. As a result of 2,500 emails sent, 276 people actually opened them. It can be reported that this campaign yielded an 11% open rate. In closing, I can give you an example of digital campaigns I am, me, running, promoting the program that I direct for my university. Bottom line, we want candidates to apply and come study in our graduate program, specifically designed for creatives in the field of advertising and content creation. The target audience is very specific. We're running a Facebook campaign with a clickable ad offering a free ebook download of a topic of interest to these potential applicants. In this case, the topic of the ebook is how to get a great job in advertising as a creative. If you're a creative, wouldn't you be interested and click on it? Obviously, our target audience has to be defined in order to deliver these impressions to the right audience with minimal waste. Remember, I always say we're in the waste management industry. If the target clicks on the ad to download that free ebook, they have to provide a name and an email address. That email address goes into a self-generated database of qualified leads, which will be getting a total of 12 emails. One email sent to this database generated every other week for 6 months, obviously with the option to opt out. We're a responsible and ethical marketer. By the way, we wrote the email scripts to be appealing with eye-catching subject lines to maximize the email open rate. Think about it. You click on an email if it's something of interest. The call to action is to email or call me directly for more information about the program through a very specific lead capture platform that we use. So we have several KPIs for each of the digital campaigns that we run. We have the click-through rate for the Facebook ad. We have the ebook downloads. We have the number of emails we generate to that database. We have the emails that we send out to that self-generated database. We have the open rates for the emails that we send. We have the inquiries. We have the program applications, and we have the ultimate KPI of all, if an admitted student, if a student is admitted, and that's the full conversion of a lead, which may have started as a free ebook download. Think about it. That's the purchase funnel for you. Another important KPI to me is CPM, or cost per thousand, meaning the cost for every 1,000 impressions delivered in that Facebook campaign versus how much money we spent running those Facebook ads. As a client, there are things I cannot control, such as if the lead decides to call me directly, bypassing the form looking for information about the program, that lead capturing platform. The point is that unless I ask when they call me, I may not know how that lead was generated. So I have to build in this question when I talk and interview prospects and keep good records of these statistics. Also, I cannot control if the person has all the factors needed to be a qualified candidate with a high probability of admissions or the full lead conversion. Regardless, I have a weekly meeting with my digital agency where they report all these KPIs to me and we keep track. For example, we may run several ebooks and see which one performs better, or which subject title and email copy performs better to optimize that email open rate. The point is that you have to be clear what you're measuring by establishing clear KPIs. You have to keep good stats of these results, and you have to analyze what's working and what's not. There is a term called A/B testing, which means that you run different versions of creative to see which one performs best. Hence the A and B, which in this case, it could be the different ebook topics that we offer to test which one people download the most. After I run this campaign, I may run an ROI analysis to assess if the money spent generated revenue. How revenue? In people admitted to the program that are going to pay, for their studies. So again, not only do I teach this, but I live this every day. So now, this is it, and I will see you in the next video lesson.